Level 1. The Flight Cadet. You're 20 years old, sitting in a cockpit for the first time at flight school. Your helmet feels heavy, and the smell of jet fuel and warm metal fills the cockpit. You've spent months studying aerodynamics and enduring the centrifuge, where 8 Gs of gravity tried to drain the blood from your brain until your vision tunneled into blackness. Today is your first solo flight in a T-38 Talon trainer. As you push the throttle forward and feel 4,000 pounds of thrust push you into your seat, the runway vanishes beneath you. Up here, at 15,000 feet, the world below looks quiet. But you quickly learn that flying a jet isn't about enjoying the view. It's a constant battle of monitoring gauges, airspeed, and altitude. One wrong input, and gravity wins. You land safely, taxiing back with sweaty palms and a racing heart. You are no longer just a dreamer. You are a student aviator. Level 2. The Wingman. You're 24, assigned to an operational F-16 Fighting Falcon squadron. You wear the coveted flight suit, but in the squadron room, you're just the nugget, the junior pilot. Your call sign is tagged on your locker, and your job is simple. Stay on your flight lead's wing and don't make mistakes. You spend hours in air combat maneuvers drills, pulling 9 Gs in high G turns until your ribs ache and your breathing becomes a rhythmic grunt through your G suit. You learn basic fighter maneuvers, scissors, Immelmans, and high yo-yos. When you look to your left, your lead's jet is just 10 feet away, flying at 500 knots. You don't think about the danger. You focus on keeping your wingtip aligned. You earn your tactical combat qualification. You aren't leading yet, but you're trusted to fly into the fire. Level 3. The Combat Aviator. You're 26, sitting in the cockpit on the catapult track of an aircraft carrier in the Persian Gulf at 0200 hours. Pitch darkness surrounds you. The holdback bar releases, and in 2 seconds, steam hurls your 45,000-pound aircraft from 0 to 160 miles per hour over the edge of the deck. This isn't training anymore. Your mission is close air support for ground troops pinned down in a valley. Over enemy territory, the radar warning receiver chirps. A ground-based SAM site is locking onto you. Your heart hammers, but your muscle memory takes over. You drop flares, break hard into the missile threat, and acquire the target on your targeting pod. Ground command confirms, cleared hot. You release a laser-guided bomb, watching the strike hit seconds later. Good hits, Doc. Troops are moving again. On the flight back, low on fuel, you trap on the carrier deck in a storm. You step out of the cockpit exhausted, shaking quietly in the ready room. You've seen real combat now. Level 4. Flight Lead. You're 29, now a captain and an experienced flight lead. You command a 4-ship formation of strike fighters penetrating contested airspace. The lives of 3 other pilots, younger versions of who you used to be, are now your responsibility. During a strike mission, an unexpected pop-up threat appears on radar. 2 hostile fighters intercepting from the east. You don't have time to hesitate. You assign targets over the radio in crisp, calm brevity codes. Fox 3 on the lead bandit. You watch the missile smoke trail disappear into the clouds, followed by a flash. You guide your 4-ship through the objective and bring every single pilot home. In the debrief, you don't boast about the air-to-air kill. You spend an hour dissecting a 2-second delay in your wingman's turn. A good flight lead doesn't just survive the fight. He ensures his team dominates it. Level 5. Weapons School Instructor. You're 33, a graduate of the elite fighter weapons school. You wear the patch that marks you as one of the top 1% of fighter pilots in the world. Now, your job is to instruct the next generation. You push young pilots to their absolute physical and mental breaking points in multi-domain threat scenarios. You sit in the debrief room for 4 hours analyzing 5 minutes of tape, pointing out millimeter errors in radar manipulation or split-second tactical misjudgments. You tell them, the enemy won't give you a second chance, and neither will I. You watch a student who was struggling finally master a complex intercept tactic. You smile quietly. You aren't just flying jets anymore. You're forging tactical weapons out of human beings. Level 6, Squadron Commander. You're 38, a lieutenant colonel commanding a 24-aircraft fighter squadron. The cockpit is no longer your primary office. Your desk is. You manage millions of dollars in aviation assets, maintenance schedules, pilot flight hours, and family readiness programs. But when deployment comes, you lead from the front. During a joint force operation, you lead an 18-plane strike package against heavily defended air defense networks. When a pilot in your squadron takes shrapnel to his wing tanks, you personally escort his crippled jet to an emergency airfield, talking him down through systems failures. Back at home station, you have to write a letter to a family when an accident happens. That night, you hold the brass canopy key of an F-35 and realize that command is the heaviest burden you've ever carried. Level 7, Test Pilot. You're 42, assigned to Edwards Air Force Base as a senior experimental test pilot. You fly stealth prototypes and next-generation aircraft that officially don't exist yet. Your job is envelope expansion, pushing jets past Mach 2.2, testing unproven flight control software, and deliberately putting aircraft into stalls to see if the recovery systems work. At 60,000 feet, where the sky turns dark blue and you can see the curvature of the Earth, a computer glitch shuts down your left engine during a high-alpha test maneuver. While engineers on the ground hold their breath over telemetry, you calmly execute the manual restart sequence, reigniting the engine at 20,000 feet. You land, walk into the hangar, and tell the engineers, adjust the flight control software by 2% on pitch axis. You live on the edge of innovation. Level 8, Air Wing Commander. You're 47, a colonel commanding an entire fighter wing of over 70 aircraft and 3,000 personnel. You no longer fly daily combat missions, but you fly enough to keep your flight status. You oversee massive multinational exercises, coordinating stealth fighters, refueling tankers, AWACS radar planes, and cyber warfare units into a single synchronized machine. When geopolitical tensions spike overseas, your wing is ordered to deploy within 48 hours. You stand on the flight line as dozens of afterburners light up the night sky, jet after jet launching into the dark. You realize that air superiority isn't just about dogfights. It's about logistics, readiness, and deterrence. Level 9, Air Staff General. You're 53, a brigadier general sitting in the Pentagon. You wear a suit with ribbons on your chest, sitting at polished mahogany tables with civilian defense officials and contractors. Your battleground is no longer the sky. It's budget committees, defense procurement, and future doctrine. You fight fiercely to secure funding for next-generation autonomous drone wingmen, hypersonic missiles, and advanced pilot safety equipment. A staff analyst suggests cutting simulator flight hours to save 12% on the budget. You look him in the eye and recall the night you almost crashed on a carrier deck in 2003. You tell the room, simulator hours aren't an expense. They're the difference between a pilot coming home or dying in the dark. The budget cuts are withdrawn. You are still protecting your pilots, just from a desk. Level 10, the legacy. You're 60 years old. You retired from active service 2 years ago. There was a dining out ceremony, a final flyby of F-22 Raptors, and a framed shadow box containing your flight helmet and wings. Today, you stand near the fence line at an airbase near your home, watching a young flight student walk out to a jet with his helmet bag over his shoulder. You hear the deafening roar of the afterburner as the jet rocket launches into the clouds, banking sharply into the blue. You touch the small titanium flight badge in your pocket. You reflect on the supersonic speeds, the night traps and storms, the comrades you flew with, and the legacy you left behind. You were never just a pilot. You were a guardian of the sky, part of an unbroken chain that keeps the world below safe.